All right, well, today we're going to be installing the Onan, which is actually Cummins auto start controller. We have a kit here. Came in, it was $300, but it's right in line with most units that have auto start features. So we have our cables, we have our guide for installing it, which pretty much gives us a QR code and basic instructions here for the gateway. So this is the auto start unit, and this is the Bluetooth unit, which goes inside the RV, and we'll get this done right now.
So here's a list of items that are not included with the kit. I end up needing a fusible link with two 5-amp fuses, some black tape, some cutters for cutting and stripping the wires. Also needed a terminal connector, a little 1/8-inch one for a 14-gauge wire, and a little bit of silicone sealant, and a 1/4-inch drill bit to drill through my main unit. I don't need any extensions because luckily in Winnebago's, the panel's right there in the front. You don't have to run any wires into the cab or anywhere else. So it's a nice setup, but your setup could be different.
Okay, this is pretty simple. So what you're doing is we're intercepting this line that's coming out of the generator and going to your main control unit. So one side will plug into here, another side will plug into the outgoing. You're going to notice that there's more pins in your intercept here that goes to your control unit, which is this unit here. So if you look at the two plugins, you're going to notice that one has more actual plugs in it. So that's going to be the one that's going to intercept, that's going to plug into here and then wire into here. So we're going to get that done, and then we're going to move forward with our other wiring. So at the end of this harness, you have 3 wires, and these are the ones you're going to have to plumb to get a battery source. So this is going to be your engine battery source. This is going to be to your house battery source, and then this is going to be to a good ground. So we'll get those wired up in a second here. In the meantime, we're going to wire this harness up. So here's our temp sensor. I already pried this off. You just put something on the side here and slide it off. You can see it has a battery in there. I just want to make sure there's no like contact on it to prevent it from working, which it appears there is. So this won't work until you pull this piece of plastic out, and that's just to prevent it from being active while it's, you know, waiting to be sold. Then you can go ahead and push this back on, and then you're good to go. So I like to mount temperature sensors close to where the thermostat is, just because I want it to have the same temperature, or at least be in the same ballpark, so that the reading will be the same, so that if it's kicking on based on temperature, that's what'll happen. You got a couple of screws that are provided. You can screw it in anywhere you want. I don't like it to be too high because it's going to be hotter up here than it is down here, so somewhere close to where the thermostat actually is. Well, most of the wind is blocked here, which is nice. What you're gonna look for is the harness that's coming out of the generator. On the Winnebagos, it runs forward and it connects here right in front of the generator. So what we're gonna do is put one connection on one side, the male, another one on the female side, and now you're intercepted. So now we're going to grab our unit and we're gonna mount it. We're probably gonna mount it right here, because it's nice and safe, it's out of the way. It's pointing down so water can get into the harness. And then right behind here, we have our solenoids, which is beautiful because that's where we're gonna get our power source. Okay, so we mounted our box. This box is grounded, so any grounding we can do will be through here. You can also drill a hole in here. You always wanna verify there's nothing on the back side that you're gonna drill into, and this is good. I put my hidey key in there, as you can see. It's like I dropped a screw in there at some point, or maybe the manufacturer did. Anyway, we'll drill a hole through here, run our wires over here. This is our solenoid for our main unit. When the unit starts, it'll actually have the batteries charge through the alternator. So on the left side, we check the voltage. That's our engine battery. On the right side, that's going to be our house battery. So those are good sources. So everything's pretty close. We don't have to run any wires. It's a beautiful thing. Your unit's probably going to be different, but if you have a Winnebago, it's pretty easy. Okay, so here's what we've done. I ran the wiring through, got a little 1/4-inch hole. We'll seal that with some silicone, that way it's not rubbing. Ran the wires through. We had to get some fusible links. So we're going to use 5-amp amp fuses in both of these, one there, one there. That's, again, our battery side for our engine, and this is our house battery. So ran them through. Again, when you're doing this, do not put the fuses in until you're ready to go. Always test your voltage, make sure your ground is good. Let's put a nice screw here, make sure it's nice and grounded. It's good. So now I can put my fuses in and we can try out the unit, see how she works. Okay, so we're all wired up here. Put some sealant here, cross that through. Ground's good, power's good. Unit's powering up. So we're gonna put our cover back on and move back inside. So once you download the app, this is what you're gonna be looking at. And you can come here to the main page and you'll see you can start, stop. You can go in advanced settings. You can do air conditioning sense by the temp sensor, a house battery sense. You can see I went in there and you set your low and high voltage so that it'll automatically kick on and kick off at a certain voltage. You can look at your history of your generator. You can set your quiet time. So if you're at a site that doesn't allow you to run at night, you have your event history and you can pull up fault codes. Plenty of stuff to do on here. I'm very excited that this is actually a very easy to use app and it's very self-explanatory. So please like or subscribe if you want more information like the install above.